Welcome back to Rooted in Rising with Dr. Carmela Maxell, and to another Sunday Seeds of Thought. I want to start today with a question. What are you still auditioning for? Not literally. I mean, where in your life are you still behaving like someone is sitting behind a table with a clipboard, deciding whether or not you get the part? Maybe it's at work. Maybe you have the title. You have the degree. You have the experience. You have the office. You have the responsibilities. And somehow, every morning, you still walk in feeling like you need to prove that you deserve to be there. Maybe it's in your relationships. Someone loves you. They chose you. They keep choosing you. And somehow, you're still performing. Still trying to be easy enough. Helpful enough. Interesting enough. Successful enough. Attractive enough. Low maintenance enough. Whatever version of enough you think will keep you from being rejected. Or maybe, and I think this is a big one, you're auditioning for your own life. You've built something. You've survived things. You've accomplished things. You've grown. You have become someone that an earlier version of you probably would have looked at and thought, wow. And instead of actually living in what you built, you keep trying to earn it. And that's what I want to talk about today. Because at some point, you have to stop auditioning. You already got the part. There's actually a psychological reason we do this. When we spend a long time trying to get somewhere, our brains can become very accustomed to the pursuit. We learn how to strive. We learn how to perform. We learn how to anticipate what people want from us. We learn how to read the room. We learn how to over-prepare. We learn how to make ourselves useful. And sometimes those behaviors work. They help us survive. They help us advance. They help us get through school. They help us get the promotion. They help us build relationships. They help us create opportunities. But here's the problem. Sometimes we arrive and nobody tells our nervous system that the audition is over. So we keep performing. That can look like imposter syndrome. It can look like perfectionism. It can look like people-pleasing. It can look like over-explaining every decision you make because somewhere inside you, you still believe you need permission. It can look like constantly producing because resting makes you feel guilty. It can look like accomplishing something incredible and immediately asking, okay, what's next? I am super guilty of this. Instead of allowing yourself to say, wait, look where I am. And I think some of us have become so accustomed to proving ourselves that we don't even recognize it anymore. Someone compliments you, you explain why you really don't deserve that much credit. Someone tells you you did a great job, you immediately point out what you could have done better. You get an opportunity, instead of thinking, of course they called me, I'm qualified. You think, oh God, I hope they don't realize they made a mistake. You finally get a day where you don't have anything urgent to do. Instead of resting, you start looking around for something to accomplish. Because somewhere along the way, productivity became evidence that you deserve your place in the world. And that is exhausting. because there is no finish line when the thing you're trying to prove is your worth. There will always be another accomplishment, another credential, another milestone, another person to impress, another number, another follower, another promotion, another project, another way to say, see, I belong here. But what happens when you decide that you already do? Think about how differently you move through your life when you aren't constantly trying to convince people of something. You don't have to explain every decision. You don't have to make everyone understand you. You don't have to shrink yourself so someone else feels comfortable. And you also don't have to make yourself bigger just so someone notices you. You can simply exist. You can walk into a room without mentally preparing your resume. You can contribute because you have something to contribute, not because you're trying to prove that you deserve a chair. You can rest without earning it first. You can receive love without immediately wondering what you need to do to keep it. You can celebrate something without immediately turning the celebration into another goal. That doesn't mean you stop growing. It doesn't mean you become complacent. There's a huge difference between growth and auditioning. Growth says, I wonder who I can become. Auditioning says, I hope who I become will finally be enough. Those are not the same thing. And I want you to think about that distinction this week. Because sometimes we tell ourselves that we're ambitious when what we actually are is afraid. Afraid that if we stop producing, people will stop valuing us. Afraid that if we stop being useful, people will stop needing us. Afraid that if we stop performing, someone might decide we weren't worthy of the role after all. But your life is not a temporary position. You are not waiting for someone to make your existence permanent. You are already here. And maybe the next version of you isn't someone who achieves more. Maybe the next version of you is someone who finally learns how to inhabit what they've already achieved. Someone who walks into the room and thinks, yes, I belong here. Yes, I am qualified. And no, I do not have to continue proving my worth every 5 minutes. Someone who can receive something good without immediately preparing to lose it. Someone who can rest without turning rest into another productivity strategy. Someone who can stop becoming for 5 seconds and just be. So here's your seed for the week. You don't have to keep proving you belong in a life you've already built. Pay attention this week to the places where you're still auditioning. Where are you over-explaining? Where are you overperforming? Where are you exhausting yourself trying to demonstrate something that your life has already demonstrated? And when you notice yourself doing it, I want you to ask, who am I trying to convince right now? Because maybe there isn't actually anyone left to convince. Maybe everyone else already knows you belong. And maybe the person who finally needs to believe it is you. You already got the part. Now, live like it. Thank you for spending a few minutes of your Sunday with me. If this seed gave you something to think about, follow Rooted and Rising with Dr. Carmela Maxell wherever you're listening. Share this episode with someone who might need to hear it, and come back every Tuesday for new full-length episodes. And as always, remember, stay rooted in who you are and keep rising into who you're becoming. Take care.